Hello. When we think of American presidents, some stand out as strong, bold, and effective leaders. Others, unfortunately, are remembered for missed opportunities and national hardship. Today, I want to compare two presidents from the same political party, both Republicans, who led the nation in very different ways. Theodore Roosevelt, often ranked among the most successful presidents, and Herbert Hoover, widely seen as one of the most unsuccessful. Their stories offer a powerful lesson about what leadership looks like in times of crisis and what happens when leaders fail to rise to the moment. Theodore Roosevelt became president in 1901 after the assassination of President William McKinley. He was young, energetic, and believed the presidency should be a force for moral leadership. Roosevelt saw government as a tool to protect the people, especially from the power of large corporations. His approach was proactive and progressive. If something was wrong in society, he believed it was the president's job to fix it. Herbert Hoover, on the other hand, took office in 1929, just months before the stock market crash that triggered the Great Depression. Hoover was deeply intelligent, a successful businessman, and a renowned humanitarian before becoming president. But unlike Roosevelt, Hoover believed in limited government, individual responsibility, and voluntary cooperation. He thought the federal government should guide and encourage, not directly intervene. This core difference in philosophy would define how each man handled the challenges of his presidency. Roosevelt faced a nation struggling with industrial monopolies, unsafe working conditions, and widespread corruption. His answer? The Square Deal. A series of policies designed to promote fairness, break up corporate trusts, protect consumers, and conserve natural resources. He took on railroad companies, supported workers during strikes, and passed laws to ensure food and drug safety. Roosevelt believed in bold action, and the people respected him for it. Now, contrast that with Herbert Hoover, who found himself leading during the worst economic collapse in American history. Millions of Americans lost their jobs, homes, and savings. But Hoover refused to support direct federal aid to the unemployed. He feared that government help would make people dependent and damage American values. He did try some things, the Reconstruction Finance Corporation, for example, which gave loans to banks and businesses. But while Wall Street got assistance, ordinary Americans kept starving. The disconnect was devastating. Roosevelt didn't just act, he inspired. He used the press masterfully, gave powerful speeches, and knew how to connect with people. He called the presidency a bully pulpit, meaning a great platform to rally the public toward moral goals and ideas. Americans saw him as a strong, courageous, and deeply invested in the nation's future. Hoover, on the other hand, struggled to communicate. He gave long technical speeches that offered little comfort. He insisted that prosperity is just around the corner, even as things were getting worse. When World War I veterans marched on Washington to demand promised bonuses, Hoover responded by sending the military to forcefully clear them out. The image of veterans being gassed and driven from their camps shocked the nation and destroyed what little goodwill Hoover had left. While Roosevelt won re-election with ease, Hoover lost in a landslide to New York Governor Franklin D. Roosevelt, who promised bold action and a new deal for the American people. Theodore Roosevelt left a legacy that still shapes the United States today. He helped create the national park system. He passed laws to protect consumers. He made the presidency more powerful and more accountable. He expanded the role of government in protecting ordinary Americans and inspired generations of leaders after him. Herbert Hoover's legacy is far less admired. While historians now recognize that he was not a heartless man, his failure to act decisively during the Depression made him a symbol of inaction. His name became associated with suffering. Hoovervilles were what people called the makeshift homes and towns where the homeless were living during the Great Depression. Even after the Depression ended, Hoover's reputation never fully recovered. So, what separates a successful leader from a failed one? Roosevelt showed us that in moments of challenge, a president must lead with vision, courage, and decisive action. Hoover, by contrast, reminds us that even a well meaning leader can fail when they cling to odd beliefs or old ways in the face of new realities. Both men loved their country, both were smart, but only one adapted to the needs of the moment. As we evaluate leadership, past, present, and future, Roosevelt and Hoover serve as reminders when crisis strikes. The people just don't need reassurance, they need results. Thank you.